Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel Manas, a pursuit of happiness, and this is your Dr. Chitra Aravind. So I've come up with a very common topic which is going to be useful for many people. So when I say human beings, one thing is very true that and factual, that we are all mortals. So when I say the term that we are all mortals, we all have to go through a very painful experience in our life, that is losing our loved and dear ones. So this is the most painful experience all of us do go through in our life, because whomever we are very close to, let it be friends or spouse or siblings, whoever we lose, we go through a very painful stage, that is grieving. So this stage can be very painful in anybody's life, as I said earlier. But how do we get through this stage? I wouldn't say that it's the thing what I'm going to share with you is going to replace your loss or it's going to soothe you. But this understanding or the psychoeducation of what actually happens into your mind or you go through in your mind actually will help you to process your emotions in a more better and healthy way. This can also be useful for people who are friends and families, and to those people who lost their dear ones. Especially in this corona period, many people have lost their loved ones. So I thought I should come up with this video to help those people and give them some idea about how to deal with people who are in this pain. So for which you should understand, Kubler-Ross has come up with 5 stages of grieving, what actually we go through when we lose our loved ones. The first stage she talks about is denial. Whenever we hear the loss of our loved ones, we all go through the first stage, that is denial. No, it's not happening to me at all. Why this is happening? Because this particular stage we have in order to for surviving this loss, surviving this most painful experiences, because just you would have spoken to the person whom you lost yesterday or even morning, or you may be very close to them, known to them for years together, and for your mind to understand that this is really happening, you cannot really process that. So mind has come up with this defense mechanism called denial for you to help you to go through this stage, the most difficult stage. So that is the thing all of us do go through. Some people may be here and for days or weeks, or some people even months in denial. And the next stage is anger. So usually what happens is when people lose their loved ones, what we expect most of them is sadness or crying, all this. But usually people don't go to that sad stage quickly. They go through a stage called anger before, because anger is something which is more socially acceptable than crying and sadness. So what happens to them is like they just burst out in anger, and nobody can even go to them. They are completely not approachable. So near and dear ones can't even go to them and help them. So this particular emotion is also being felt to save us, because people who are always crying very quickly after this kind of loss, usually that thing happens even in our cultural and religious way also. People cry out a lot, or after a week or two, and just express all their emotions out. So anger is a way of just expressing all your pent up emotions, and you think like, why this is happening to me, why God has chosen me, why should he go, and you get even anger over the person who has left you. So this stage, family and friends don't get afraid, because people usually go through these stages and they can pass to the next stage, that is bargaining. So in bargaining, what happens is they cannot stand the pain. So they are not in control of the situation. So that they realize it's human, and they believe in the supreme power and just bargain with the power that please God, do something. I can be a better person. I will change this. I'll change that way, whatever way. All you have to give me is the person I want. I want that person back in my life. This is what you bargain for. This shows that we are still not in reality, still not accepted the thing that the person is never going to come back and be in your life. We still keep bargaining so that we believe that some magic happens, a person comes back to your life, and we believe in that supreme power. So even now we are still in the imagination stage, and still our mind does not process the emotion. And then we go on to the next stage, that is depression. So depression is a phase where all this emotional fog clears and our panic comes down, and we come to the reality. We are coming to terms with the reality that the person is no more in your life, and you break down very badly and you cry a lot. You go through lots and lots of sadness, and you completely retreat yourself from other people and withdraw from other people, and loneliness is the most important thing which happens in this stage. So many people get stuck in this space in their life even for years. Many of my clients have seen, like, even after 8 to 10 years they get stuck in this stage called depression, and they cannot process their emotion beyond this. So it is very important that you need to get some help too if you get stuck in this stage for more than 6 months. So according to Kubler-Ross, we are not saying that everybody goes through one stage after the other. The stages can be blurred, or it can the third stage can be preceded by the second stage. But then we go through all the stages, and you need to understand and know, like, what stage am I in. So definitely, as many people say, time is the best healer, and we will come back to our normal levels of functioning as time passes. But then for that we need to process these emotions, and it takes time. So when we are going through this kind of mixed emotions like confusion, sadness, regret, guilt, then you should understand, okay, probably my mind is processing, I'm in this stage, and let's see what happens. And the final stage is acceptance. So when you're depressed, you feel like you can't eat, you can't sleep, all this will be part and parcel of the depressed stage, more similar to clinical depression, but it is not clinical if it is not going to extend after 6 months. If it's going to extend, then really you need to see a psychologist or a psychiatrist to diagnose for depression. So when you know that you have come to the last stage, that is acceptance, is when you come into terms with reality, and also accept the fact that the person is never going to come. I'm not saying that you won't feel the regret or you won't feel the sadness. Everything will be there, but still you would have accepted that this has happened in your life and you have to move on. And by now you would have given a spiritual reasoning also for the fact that that person has actually, left you or completely gone out from your life. So this stage, usually people may take years, months. Years is not actually a good sign. It's better to pass through all these stages in months, and within a year, definitely people have to come back to their original levels of functioning. And in all these stages, you will have lots of negative thoughts, memory, imagery. And very important message I want to tell all the people who are going through this loss is that for people who are still with their near and dear ones, is that please live your life when your loved ones are with you. Don't ever regret about it later, because in my experience, clinical experiences, every time I've come across this point that people, whoever has not had a good life with the people whom they lost, are the ones who grieve for a longer time. Instead, if you had a very good life with them, you wouldn't regret. I wouldn't say like you will be happy, but still this grieving period will not be that long. It will not be that extended. You will be fulfilled that I live my life to the best level possible. But for people who have not behaved properly, you'll have lots of thoughts haunting you, telling that I should have not did this to him or her, or I should have behaved in a more better way. All these thoughts keep coming back to you and haunt you a lot, and loads of guilt you have to process. So the message for everyone is to live a happy life with your near and dear ones, so that you don't have to regret very badly when they leave you. And one more thing is that once your near and dear ones leave you, obviously we go through all the stages, and it's very difficult phase in your life, as I told you earlier. But then what happens to the friends of people who has to witness you grieving? So they also have to go through a very tough period, that my friend or my sister or my sister or brother, whoever it may be, the sibling or my spouse is going through this kind of grieving, and they really want to get you out of the trouble, and they give you a lot of advice, they'll give you a lot of guidance. But I can tell you only one message for those people who really want your loved ones to come out of this grieving: don't pressure them, because mind just like that cannot jump from one phase to the other. It takes time. You have to give them the time to process. or if you're going to pressure them or give them a lot of examples, or if you're going to give them a sense of humor, nothing is going to work and they will start going away from you. So the better thing is to just let them know that you are always there, and when their mind is ready, when they are ready, they will definitely come back to you, and when they are ready to process their emotions, it may take weeks or months, and by then they will know that you are still there for them and they will come and open up and talk to them. But until then, you should not go and pressure them or give them advices and think that the next day morning they should be fine out of all the trouble and live their life. It will take time. So the friends and relatives or people who are grieving, please understand this fact, and you shouldn't be advising them a lot. It's very difficult for them to think that how my friend believes that I can really come out of it that soon. It's not possible. It's not actually humanly possible. So I think this video would help a lot of people, because as human, as I told earlier, we all go through this phase and it is very difficult to go through this phase. And by getting this insight that we all go through 5 phases, it will give you some soothing that I will also get to a stage where I can process these painful emotions and can be my original old self. But still the vacuum is there, but there is a purpose of life and there is a meaning for which we also live and continue to live. We need to focus more on that, and definitely your loved ones, whoever has left you, also has a reason to leave this world, and you have to strongly believe in that. So thank you for watching this video till the end, and please do subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed yet. So see you again. Bye.